It's that time of the day again, family. Dinner time. Spend a week with me as we make weeks worth of dinners. Hello family, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Vicki and you're with Grammy in the kitchen. So this morning I had 2 of our English muffin breakfast sandwiches for breakfast. For lunch, I really didn't eat that much. I'm in the middle of a canning session, so we didn't eat lunch. The husband finished off the chicken parm we had in the last video today for lunch. Now it's time to make dinner. So I took out one of our whole cut up chickens that we call fryer parts out of the freezer this morning, had it thawing. Now we're going to cook dinner. So we have 8 pieces of chicken. We cut our breast in half, so we have 4 pieces of breast, 2 thighs, and 2 legs. Skin on, bone in. And put it on this large cookie sheet lined with parchment paper because we're going to bake this. So this is our homemade chicken dry rub. I'll put the ingredient list in the description below if you're interested in making it yourself. And we're just going to sprinkle all over this chicken on both sides. Chicken still has a little bit frozen, not much. So it's going to take a little longer to cook, but that's okay. Let's turn them over and get the back side. We're going to put this in a 375-degree oven until they're well done. I'll let you know how long that takes. And then we're going to make a pasta with Alfredo sauce, no meat. We're going to use that as a side dish along with some boiled steamed vegetables we have in the freezer. So in the small pot I have some mixed vegetables with a little bit of salt and pepper and some butter. In this pot, we're going to make the Alfredo sauce. We already cooked the macaroni. Macaroni has been drained. It's sitting in the sink in a strainer. We have a tablespoon of butter. Let's go ahead and add about a tablespoon of olive oil. Some salt. And pepper. Went ahead and took a pint-sized jar of heavy cream out of the freezer. We're just going to make a macaroni Alfredo as a side dish. We're going to let that heat up, and then we're going to add the Parmesan cheese. We're going to add half a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Let's go ahead and add the Parmesan cheese. It's about cup to a cup and a half. We're going to dump it all in there. Let's taste it for seasoning. It needs salt and pepper. The onion powder and the garlic powder is okay, but we just need to add just a little bit of salt and pepper. 8 ounces of cooked macaroni. And as the starch from that macaroni gets in the sauce, it'll thicken it up beautiful. Turn the burner off, put the lid on it. The chicken has been in the oven for an hour and a half. We need to tempt it to see if it's... Ooh, that is a hot pan, ouch. Make sure that they are well done. Breast needs to be above 160. Thighs and legs needs to be over 175. All right, that piece of breast is over 180. We're good. And that thigh is reading over 190. Perfect. Oven off. Let's go ahead and remove this from the pan. This will be plenty for the husband and I to have dinner tonight, lunch tomorrow, possibly dinner tomorrow night. I love building leftovers in our meals. And that's what we're having for dinner tonight. Macaroni with some Alfredo, some mixed vegetables that we just put some water, butter, salt and pepper, and our chicken dry rub chicken bake. So we're just gonna sit down and have dinner. This will also be lunch tomorrow, possibly dinner tomorrow night. The next time we get together to make a meal this week, I'll bring you along. It's time to cook dinner again. We're just gonna have a simple spaghetti with meat sauce. But the husband's been asking for something chocolate, so we're gonna make him a dessert. I'm preheating the oven to 375. I have the spaghetti on the stove cooking. We still need to make the meat sauce. But I figured we'd go ahead and get started on that dessert. In the mixing bowl, I have 1 cup of flour. We need to put a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. We need 3/4 cup of sugar. Two teaspoons of baking powder. 1 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, 3/4 cups of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We need a 1/2 cup of milk. Two tablespoons of melted butter. It looks like it's seized, but it's fine. It's going to be just fine. Shouldn't have used a whisk, but it's okay. We got this. So I have a cast iron skillet. We want to butter it very well. Oven is up to temperature. All right, that's going in here. I know it doesn't look right, but trust me, it's going to come together. We're going to push that in here. Set that aside. We need a half a cup of chocolate chips. 1 cup of brown sugar. Another 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. We need 1 3/4 cups of hot water. So the dry ingredients we're just going to pour right on top. And 1 3/4 cups of hot water. I know, it looks crazy, doesn't it? But it's so good. So we're going to put this in a 375-degree oven for 1 hour. And that's just enough time to get dinner going. And put a little bit of olive oil in the same pan that we cooked the pasta in. I need to fill up my olive oil. Too lazy. Avocado oil it is. Was going to do meatballs, but I don't feel like it. So this is 1 pound and 6 ounces of the ground turkey we did together on the last video when we canned turkey soup starter and turkey broth and ground some turkey. We're going to add our home canned pasta sauce. This is a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. I got about maybe 1/3 cup of water. Give it a good swish. We're going to let that heat up just a bit before we add the pasta. It's been cooking for about maybe 10 minutes. It's nice and hot. Let's go ahead and add the pasta. I have some Parmesan cheese. I'm just going to put probably about 1/2 cup. Look at that, family. Isn't that beautiful? And dinner is ready. And that's what we're having for dinner. I might make a salad. I might not. If I thought ahead, I would have made some pizza dough and made another breadsticks, but I didn't think ahead. But isn't that beautiful? The Skillet chocolate dessert has about 27 minutes left to cook. But it looks amazing. I cannot wait to share that with you. We're going to go ahead and eat our dinner now while we're waiting on that Skillet chocolate dessert to finish cooking. And then we gotta let it cool off a bit because it's going to be lava hot. And then we'll eat some of that. I'll bring you right back in just a few minutes. Okay, family. Oh, it's crazy looking. Look at that. It's a chocolate lava cake. It's ooey and gooey. Now we need to let this sit for about 15 minutes to cool off. But I know the husband is dying to get in here. Chocolate is his favorite. I'll leave a recipe in the description below so you can make this on your own. But it's the pantry staples that we keep in our house. So it came together so easy. Look at that. All that chocolate syrup. Whew, that is going to be hot. Dinner tonight was super simple. Spaghetti with meat sauce. But we do have dessert. A Skillet chocolate lava cake. It's going to be hot. Make sure we got the perfect bite. Some of that cake and that ooey gooey chocolate sauce. It is the perfect sweetness between the chocolate chips and that brown sugar and that cane sugar. It is so good, family. I hope you give this a try. Don't think you made it wrong because you didn't. It'll come together. Husband and I are going to sit down and enjoy our chocolate lava cake. And I'll see you on the next meal. What do you do when you want to make a pot pie but you don't have raw potatoes? We're going to take one of our home canned turkey soup starters. We're going to make this into a turkey shepherd's pot pie. A turkey shepherd's pot pie. So the bottom part is going to be a pot pie because we're going to put a pie crust on it. And the top part's going to be shepherd's pie because I took out some mashed potatoes from the freezer. So we're just going to mix two together. We're going to be using the sourdough discard for the pie crust. If you're ready, let's go ahead and do this. So we need 1 cup and 1 teaspoon of flour, 8 tablespoons or a stick of butter cut up into small little cubes. We need a half teaspoon of salt. We're going to mix that together, break up those butter chunks just to make them a little bit smaller. If you want, you can use a cheese grater and grate your butter. I just don't want to dirty up another kitchen gadget. The sourdough starter was fed yesterday, but before I feed it today, I want to take out what I need. And for the pie crust, we need 125 grams or a half a cup. Okay, there we go. And the recipe calls for a teaspoon of vinegar. Never done vinegar in pie crust before, but That's what they want us to do, that's what we'll do. So we want to mix that in together. If you were making a sweet or dessert pie crust, add some sugar to it. We're making a savory, so we're just not going to add any sugar. So between the butter and the sourdough starter, that's all the liquid it's supposed to have. We're just going to slowly incorporate all these dry ingredients in here. All right, let me clean up my station. Let's wrap it up with saran wrap, plastic wrap, and leave it right here until we're ready for it. So I got about 2 tablespoons of butter melting into this pan, and we're going to make a roux. We're going to be using the broth from our home canned turkey soup starter plus some milk to make a creamy gravy or cream sauce. Go ahead and add some salt and some pepper and about 2 tablespoons of flour. And it looks like we got almost a cup and a half of broth. We want to constantly whisk this to make sure we're not leaving any lumps. About 3/4 cups of milk. We're going to let those heat up and thicken, and then we'll add everything else. So we're going to be using our home canned soup starter. It's got chicken and mixed vegetables. But when I was canning that, I had this much turkey left over. I need at least 5 quarts to run a canner. Can't do it with just 1 quart. We're going to be adding this turkey also to our dinner. Let everything get nice and warm. Then we'll taste it for seasoning. I'm going to go ahead and butter my cast iron skillet. It's okay if it's got a glob of butter on the bottom. It'll be fine. Now the recipe I found said that this needs to chill for 2 hours for up to 4 days. I didn't think about this yesterday. We're moving on. It chilled long enough for us to make the filling. That would only enhance the sour flavor in the dough, mixing the sourdough starter with the flour, but it's okay. But this is supposed to be a single dough recipe, and if you want to make a double crust, you would have to double this recipe. But the single crust is what I wanted anyway, so it's okay. We're constantly moving it to make sure it's not sticking to our countertop. I have a little ramekin of water so we can piece it together as it's breaking. That looks big enough. I'm going to cut it about a 1/2 inch from the edge of the pan. I do need to do a band-aid work right here. Put a little bit of water on my fingers. A little bit of scrap dough right there. Beautiful. Now we're going to crimp the edges. Just slightly tuck it behind inside the rim of this pie pan. I went ahead and turned the stove off. The oven is preheating to 375 degrees. That looks good. Let me clean up just a bit. Still need to taste the broth to make sure we have the right amount of salt and pepper. Family, that is so good. I do want to add just a pinch of salt and pepper, then we'll call it quits. Let's go ahead and start building this. So we have our sourdough discard pie crust. our home can soup starter, and some frozen mashed potatoes right on top. Look at that, family. That is gorgeous. So I have the pizza pan with parchment paper just to collect any of the drippings in case it drips. Now this is going to go into a 375 degree oven, and we're going to bake it for 1 hour. We're going to check our crust periodically to make sure it's not overcooking. We want those potatoes to thaw and get a little bit of color on the top. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be an hour. And I'll see you in 1 hour. The turkey shepherd's pot pie came out of the oven. After that hour, I did extend it for another 12 minutes, and the crust is flaky. It smells and looks beautiful. Are you ready to see this? We have the pie crust with the sourdough discard on the bottom. We made our filling using that broth that was cooked in the canned soup starter, plus some milk. The turkey and all the vegetables, made a really thick gravy sauce, put it in our pie crust, and added some mashed potatoes on top. Oh, family, oh, it looks beautiful. I did let it cool off for about 30 minutes, but now we're ready to dive in. Ooh, look at that. Crust is not sticking to our pan. Beautiful, family. That's a gorgeous plate. We're gonna look for the perfect bite. We're gonna get some crust, some turkey, mashed potatoes, some of that gravy. Oh, here we go. I found it. Even after 30 minutes, it is still steaming. That is really good. I like taking traditional foods, but switching it up with ingredients we had in our house. We didn't have any whole raw potatoes, so I couldn't make a chicken pot pie. But we had our mashed potatoes in the freezer, and I didn't want just a shepherd's pie, so we combined the two together. This will be dinner tonight and lunch tomorrow. And tomorrow night is Friday. We're actually going to do pizza and wings. So tonight's dinner is going to be potato taco bake. I don't know what else to call it. But I'm running low on taco seasoning, so we're going to go ahead and make some right now. So we need 3/4 of a cup of chili powder. And I went ahead and brought the back up just in case I needed it. If we don't need it, it'll go back into the back stock pantry. 3 teaspoons of garlic powder. 3 teaspoons of onion powder. 3 teaspoons of oregano. 2 tablespoons of paprika. I'm using a smoked paprika. 6 tablespoons of cumin. 4 tablespoons of salt, and 2 tablespoons of pepper. Make sure that gets blended together very well. That is how easy it is to make a homemade taco seasoning. No fillers, no decaking material in here. It's just all herbs and spices. I'm just adding the old with the new. And now we have a pint-sized jar of taco seasoning. Let me clean everything up, check those potatoes, put all my spices away, and then we're gonna get started on the meat for those potato taco bake. Go ahead and brown some breakfast pork sausage. And also a pound of ground turkey. If I had ground beef, I would use that, but I do not. And this is still frozen. Let me get all of this browned up, then we'll move on to the next step. Potatoes are right over here in cold water cooling down. So I have 3 little tablespoons of frozen tomato paste. When I open up a can and I don't need the whole can, I'll put them in parchment paper and stick them in the freezer. That way we have no waste, and then we got them when we're ready. The taco seasoning we just made. We'll put a good 3 tablespoons in here. And I'm going to add about a 1/3 cup of water. And while I was in the freezer looking for that tomato paste, I found a bag of frozen refried beans. It was left over from another meal sometime or another. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. Just let the residual heat thaw, and we'll get that blended in. I moved it to the back burner so we can use this front burner. We're gonna go ahead and make a roux for the cheese sauce. So I have about a tablespoon of butter. I'm going to turn that back burner on low. Front burner is on medium. Go ahead and salt and pepper. Tablespoon of flour. Just enough flour to make a paste. This is leftover milk from last week. We need to use it today. Plus I went ahead and picked up the milk for today. Slowly pour in the milk. And then we'll add about another 1/2 cup. One of our bags of pepper jack cheese that we grated. It's about 2 cups. We just want to dissolve that cheese into that milk gravy, and then we'll taste it for salt and pepper. Then we're ready to start assembling everything. Use a little bit of salt and just a small pinch of pepper. I'm just going to let that thicken up, and let's go ahead and start working on the potatoes. Now I know I told y'all yesterday that we were going to have pizza and wings. I was telling the husband that last night that we were going to have pizza and wings tonight, and he told me he'd rather have that Saturday. So pizza and wings going to be tomorrow night, but that will be included into next week's week meals. So today we're doing the potato taco bake. So the potatoes are just russet potatoes I picked up at Lidl's when they had a sale on the potatoes, plus they had a leap day year sale. You'll see that video very soon. And I went ahead and picked up a bag of russet potatoes. They were $2.99 for 5 pounds, and I cooked half of these. And when I do like a potato bake, I will boil them in water with the skins on whole, and I just want to make sure the knife can go in easy, and then they're done. So all we're going to do is just slice them right inside this casserole dish. And the peeling comes off very easy. So this is our taco seasoned turkey meat and breakfast sausage with a little bit of refried beans that we found in the freezer. And then a couple tablespoons of tomato paste. Get that all stirred in really well. And let's go ahead and top the potatoes. Oh, we need to get the oven preheated. Oven is preheating. Goodness gracious, Grammy, you're making a mess. Get that all spread in there nice and evenly. Our cheese sauce. We're just going to pour that right on top. Oh, yummy. That looks so good right there, but we are not done. This is some homemade fresh mozzarella. I'm just going to slice it up pretty thin. Look at that, family. That is gorgeous. Now everything in this casserole is done. The potatoes were cooked. The ground meat was cooked. The cheese sauce is cooked. Mozzarella, we made that a couple days ago. Matter of fact, hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, because on the next video, I'm going to show you how I make homemade mozzarella. So simple. Please hit that notification bell. But we're going to put this in the oven until everything is melted and ooey and gooey. I'm thinking about 45 minutes to make sure everything is hot and all the flavors get all mellowed out together. So I'll see you in 45 minutes. That'd be a perfect amount of time to get over there and do those dishes. Look at that. Gorgeous. Now we're going to let it sit here and cool for about 15 minutes. But the cheese melted. It smells so good. It is time to dive in. Oh, that is so beautiful. All that cheesy goodness, potatoey. I don't even know. That is perfect. Let's find the perfect bite. Some meat, some cheese, some potato. I think we got it right here. Family, that is really good. Serve some steamed vegetables on the side. Have a salad. Put some lettuce and tomato and some sour cream on top. And make a nacho potatoes taco salad. Doesn't matter. The possibilities are endless. We can just use what we have, what we caught on sale, and make a delicious meal. I don't follow a recipe. I use the internet to get inspiration. I use other YouTube channels to get inspiration. And then I turn those inspiration into what I know I can make in my kitchen for my family with the ingredients we have in our house, or what I can buy on sale at our local grocery store. That's what I need you to do. I need you to look at my channel, look at other YouTube channels, and get inspiration. Tortilla chips are not something we keep in the house at all times. So making a traditional nachos is not something I can do. And I'm not running to the store to get a bag of tortilla chips. I got potatoes on sale. We're going to use potatoes. It's not a big deal. Take what you have, build on that a new dish. In the description below, I'm going to have the recipe for anything that we used this week, such as the dried chicken rub, the taco season, and anything else we have used in this week's meal. If you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. While you're at it, please subscribe. I would love to have you part of the Grammy family. Right over here, you're going to see 2 videos. Go check those out. They're either going to inspire you to get into your kitchen or give you a chuckle. Either one's fine with me. Until the next time, you have a blessed day. Hit that notification bell. The next video is really good.